Welcome back to the news today. Let's turn to the other big story because the centre today went ahead and cancelled the Class 10 exams, CBSE exams for 2021 and has also postponed the Class 12 exams. This amidst growing concerns that the students could get tangled in the growing COVID surge. The cases are likely to be reviewed on the 1st of, the decisions are likely to be reviewed on the 1st of June. Take a look.
Finally, suspense is over for more than 30 lakh students who were set to appear for CBSE Board exams. The centre has decided to cancel the Class 10th exams and postpone Class 12th exams.
31 मई तक इस परीक्षा को उनका स्थगित किया है। 1 जून को आगे की तिथियों को हम सुनिश्चित करेंगे कि कब उनकी परीक्षाओं को करना है। 15 दिन का हम जरूर मौका छात्र छात्राओं को देंगे ताकि किसी प्रकार की उसमें भ्रम की स्थिति न बनी रहे।
The decision has come as a big relief for Class 10 students.
एक अच्छा डिसीजन है क्योंकि कोविड की वजह से तो ऑनलाइन क्लास ही हो रहा था। ऑनलाइन क्लास में ज़्यादा टीचर लोग ठीक से पढ़ा नहीं पा रहे थे। टीचर लोग का गलती नहीं है, उनका नेटवर्क ठीक से नहीं रहता था। तो एक अच्छा डिसीजन है क्योंकि फिर कोविड हॉटस्पॉट बन जाएगा एग्जाम सेंटर एक तरीके से।
स्टूडेंट्स भी सारे खुश है और 10th का कैंसिल नहीं होना चाहिए, तो उनका भी पोस्टपोन होना चाहिए था क्योंकि वो भी स्टूडेंट है।
But those in Class 12th now find themselves stuck in limbo. Most of them are apprehensive about their future.
I'm really anxious that when are the board exams going to be conducted, and also what will happen to the college entrance exams and the admission procedure. So I have a little bit anxiety about it. Right now, as of now, I'm relieved, but there is still anxiety at the back of my mind.
Right now, even though we have a little more time, I'm still anxious whether the exams will actually be held or will they be cancelled. And if they are cancelled, then what is the way to go forward? Will there be online examinations or internal examinations? So that is definitely a situation.
काम करना ही होगा.
The decision on CBSE board exams was taken after Prime Minister chaired a meeting with Education Minister and other officials. The Prime Minister said during the meet that the students had already faced a lot of problems due to COVID. So what happens next? Students of Class 10th will be promoted on the basis of internal assessment. If a student is not satisfied with the marks allocated, he or she will be given a chance to sit in an offline exam as and when the conditions are conducive. CBSE sources told India Today that certain points were kept in mind before taking the decision to postpone and not cancel the Class 12th exams right away. If the ministry had cancelled the 12th board exams right away, it could have led to chaos on the ground and impacted college admissions. Postponing the exams gives the universities, CBSE and the HRD ministry time to plan. But what happens to the future plans of close to 12 lakh students? With Tanushri Pandey and Milan Sharma in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
So what happens to the future of students in Class 10 and 12 for 2021 after today's decision? I'm joined by Amita Wattal, principal of Springdale School, joined by Gitanjali Kumar, she's a counsellor with the CBSE, joined by Sumit Agarwal, a parent, and Asmi Agarwal, a Class 10 student. I want to come to the parent and student first. Asmi Agarwal, tell us, are you relieved today that the Class 10 exams have been cancelled? Or are you still tense about what the future holds?
I'm relieved, honestly, but I think that relief has something to do with the fact that I don't have to study anymore. And the thing is that the government must take a decision after enough deliberation and making sure that everyone's needs and decisions are put into place. So I am relieved with the decision. I don't want to contradict what I earlier said about wanting boards to happen, but it's not that the government has given us an opportunity to give the boards in case we're not satisfied with
No, but did you want the boards to happen? Did you want the boards to happen? Ideally, do you want to go by so-called objective criteria, or did you want the boards to happen? Shouldn't young students want to get tested?
In an ideal situation, yes, I wanted to give the boards, but this is not an ideal situation then again. So the objective criterion is a pretty good twist, and I think the government has deliberated enough about it. So I'm relieved.
Okay. So Sumit Agarwal, are you relieved after weeks of uncertainty?
Definitely, I think as has been said, the suspense and uncertainty was looming around a lot, and this has really put that to rest. But definitely, exams I think are good for people to. This is the first of national level exam where children get to be tested at the national level among all students. So we are also not happy in a sense because our daughter is very good in studies. So we were thinking about the marks she would get at a national level first of the time. But again, I think we live in a metropolitan city and we have a good private infrastructure, private transport system to take our children to school. So we were also thinking that it must be difficult for government to think about people who travel by public transports and there is a chance of COVID spreading. So we were okay in having the board exams. We thought that we could really maintain the social protocol of social distancing. But again, I think given the public at large, this decision must be taken with all deliberations to take into account everybody's lifestyle situation.
Right. I'll come to those social. I'll come to the social divisions, including the division between towns and cities and how students are thinking differently. But Amita Wattal, young Asmita is of course in class 10. Now that's been cancelled and there will be objective criteria. But think of class 12. There's still uncertainty whether the exams will be held at all. This could mean postponement of the entire admission process into college, those who want to go abroad. This uncertainty remains. Do you believe that the government must settle it now or wait till the 1st of June?
No, I think firstly that, till this morning, everybody was just worried that there shouldn't be a board. And now that it's been announced that the board is being postponed, then there is now a new worry of what's going to happen next. I think firstly, it's very important that we are missing the main point, which is the mental health and physical health of children. And I think that's what's paramount in a child-centered learning system. And so having said that, it is very natural that nobody is going to be working in silos. The higher education institutions and the schools will definitely have to work together. And I'm sure that in its wisdom, the MHRD, the Education Ministry, will ensure that things like this don't happen, that the admissions start off and the CBSE exams haven't happened, or the ICSE or the other exams, which I think will perhaps fall in line. So the question of children missing out, I think what is very important, what parents should understand is we should worry about what has happened to learning, not a gateway exam at the end, because we've always said that a 3-hour exam doesn't really tell you what your child has understood or has assimilated. So I think the greatest worry for educators and for parents is in these 2 years of loss, what have we lost in learning? What are the issues that we need to bring up? The examination will happen one way or the other because Class 12 is a gateway exam. And there are being conversations around it even as I speak. There are principals who are deliberating. It's a democratic board. It's been asking questions. How do we do an alternative system? What are the kind of methods we should use for ensuring equity and fairness in exams and assessments when we have it? And it's not if, it's when we have the grade 12 examination. And so I think it's not an India problem, it's a global problem. Children all across the world are facing it. So I think it's time we calm down the population.
But the question was raised by Amita Wattal about the physical and mental health of the young. Many of whom have gone through this crazy year doing all their education online, Gitanjali Kumar. How does that affect mental health, physical and mental health? You're not in the classroom, you're sitting at home all the time. Now you're told your exams which you were preparing for are postponed at the very least till the 1st of June and beyond. The mental health, has there been enough attention you think paid to this?
We've definitely been talking about mental health, but attention being paid to mental health will still be debatable because do we really understand how the mental health gets affected? And it is not only the students I'm more concerned with. I'm concerned with the students and their family because each one is affecting each one. The parent, if has some kind of attention of a job or of the dropping home economy, it is definitely going to lead to the crisis in the family. The 1 laptop or 3 laptops for the 3 children. It is the teachers who are also trying to balance between the online class by doing everything what is possible, taking care of their homes, the dropping incomes. So it is the mental health of the entire country. Just a short while ago, the doctor was pleading the entire nation to avoid crowds, crowds, to avoid those kind of programs where there is a lot of people. We were never prepared that we will see such a kind of a spike, a peak like this. These are unprecedented times, so definitely we have to be prepared for the changes which are perhaps going to be very, very negative. I know children are worried about their exams. People are happy, people are unhappy, the children are anxious, but our lives are more important. हम जिंदा रहेंगे, we'll all be alive and healthy. Exams can follow in life. Right now, we all need to prepare ourselves to face this kind of a challenge.
Sure.
So I think that there's a bigger concern here.
No, I take that, but I take your point, but the worry that I have is that a lot of these debates are being carried out in metropolitan in a metropolitan ecosystem where students have access in many of the more privileged elite schools of Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata, Bangalore, Hyderabad to online facilities. What about those in smaller towns, Amita Vattal, who don't have access to those facilities? For them, these exams were going to be huge because many of them are keen to perhaps do medicine, engineering. They are planning professional courses. Their entire calendar, ma'am, has got completely disrupted. Who is there to guide them, to help them, to support them?
This is a social issue that you're talking about. It's a huge issue. First and foremost, how do we even know whether the children in the rural areas, and I can tell you because, in the rural areas of Rajasthan, which I have been to, there are children who don't even have access to learning. So their getting ready for medicine does not arise because over the year, they've had no help in whether they are learning engineering, except for a couple of coaching centers who may have given them some online stuff. But most of them have not had connectivity. Many of them don't have devices. So as I keep saying, we are sort of throwing the baby out with the bathwater. The main thing is that learning has not taken place. So whatever examination system will happen will be something which will be sort of, it'll be a kind of a seesaw between content and understanding and so on. Hence, I keep wondering whether, I think it is imperative that we should also ensure that there are no failures, because what can you talk about a pass and a fail where over the last 2 years, children haven't had access to proper learning, even the privileged ones. I mean, what is an online learning? And more so the rural areas where learning has happened, I would say, negligible. I mean, they've downloaded some YouTube videos. That's not how you prepare for medicine or engineering. So I think, we have to be easy about this. We don't know. Maybe next year also, God forbid if this happens, the next 2 to 3 years, we have to really look at alternative methods of bringing children into systems of embedding learning where they can really get involved, because cognitive learning systems, all kind of, sort of multi-dimensional learning systems have got hit in a very big manner, which we keep talking about in NEP. I mean, the NEP right now is non-existent, So how do we take that forward should be the debate. Not so much about, what's going to happen to the exam, when is it going to take place. It will take place.
Asmita, how have you and your young friends spent the last few months in conclusion? How have you all coped up with living with this uncertainty? How difficult has it been for you as a young student, 10th standard? What's been the most difficult thing?
Of whether both are going to happen or not, and if they are going to happen, whether they are going to be conducted online or not. Like even now, the board has said that they are going to mark us on the basis of an objective criterion. But even now, many people, like many of my friends, have been elaborating over what that objective criterion is going to be. Whether they're going to consider our pre-board marks, or they're going to consider internal assessments, or they're going to give us a completely different set of activities altogether. So, but still the uncertainty has cleared to some bit because they've cancelled it. So now we don't have to, one of my friends was studying for hours and days and nights. And now that they've been cancelled, at least she doesn't have to study so hard because she knows that that's not going to happen.
Well, as you said, you've gone through a very tough year. All of us have gone through tough years in our own way, in our different ways, in professional lives, and of course, as students. My thoughts entirely with you and all the young students out there. I hope over the next few weeks we will get much greater clarity. And yes, learning and mental health and physical health of the young need to be given priority. I want to thank all of you for joining me here on the news today. We've run completely out of time on this show. We've tried to bring you some of the key issues. We will continue to focus on the fallout of COVID-19. To all of you out there, stay safe, stay well, follow COVID appropriate behavior, and yes, to our policy makers, how about more COVID appropriate governance? Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.